Good morning. Thank you for joining us today on our Way to Be at Home series community chat. My name is Carrie Panoni, and I work for Maryland Business Roundtable for Education, MBRT for short, and I am the Next Generation Scholars Program Coordinator for Allegany County here at Fort Hill High School. Shout out to my students. Hope you're working hard on your online or packet learning. So hope you're staying safe. I would like to welcome today our special guest and super MBRT volunteer, Tanya Gomer.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for joining us today. Tanya comes to us from the Allegany County Government Office of Community Services. And we're going to be talking today about the future of workforce development and what it looks like to partner with agencies, education partners such as MBRT, and work for the future of our students. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Tanya.
Well, I too am a Sentinel. I graduated from Fort Hill. And I'm also a graduate of Allegany College of Maryland and Frostburg State University. I became the grants writer a little about over a year and a half ago for Allegany County. And prior to that, I worked for Allegany County Public Schools for 15 years. I also have a military background in law enforcement and have been with MBRT, I think, since about 2007.
Wow.
Talking to students.
Literally, you've helped thousands of students here in Allegany County, and we can't thank you enough for your support. Honestly, thank you for your service too, your background in the military and law enforcement. I had a student come into my office and she shared what an impact you made when you came and visited the classroom. So I just want to thank you for being one of our wonderful volunteers and sharing your background and story and helping students make good choices for their future. So thank you. So let's begin with a hot topic today, how COVID has changed your work for the community.
Well, COVID-19 has changed everything, and we've learned the utter importance of technology to keep things running. For me, we were working remotely. I just came back yesterday to working in the office. And since then, we've kind of transformed the way we do business. We're doing a lot of online meetings. We're doing a lot of virtual and collaborative type working, especially with Google and using Google Drive with collaboration documents. A lot of signing of documents that need to be signed. And also, as far as from our office, we have changed. The other half of the Office of Community Services includes our workforce development specialist, Matt Shipway. And we have Western Maryland Works, which is the Allegany County Makerspace, which we hoped to have our grand opening in April, but COVID has delayed that.
Right.
However, we were fortunate that we got a lot of the equipment in thanks to Appalachian Regional Commission funding that we received. So we had a lot of equipment, and we saw the need for PPE in our medical professions and some of our essential services like the banking industry, in nursing homes and such. So Matt has learned how to use the machines that we purchased, and he is cranking out full face shields and getting those delivered to our essential workers that are still out there in the community.
That's wonderful that you can adapt. I know one of the top soft skills or essential skills that employers want to let our students know is being flexible in a job, being able to adapt to whatever the circumstances. And obviously, COVID is something not many of us have had to deal with. So we've all had to adapt in our jobs for sure.
Right. And along with that, with COVID-19, we've learned the importance of our transportation network. we have hope. I mean, we've been very fortunate in Allegany County that we've been forward thinking and that our commissioners are forward thinking. And we have already got 2 broadband expansion grants that we received to help get to some of our more rural areas in the community, going through like the Mount Savage area, Ellerslie, Old Town, Flintstone, and those projects are in the works.
Great.
So we did see the need prior to COVID, but COVID really reinforced the importance of having broadband to as many homes as we can. And it also has reinforced the need to support our water and sewer projects. Um,
Right.
it's kind of something that you don't really think about in your day-to-day life, but now that we're home more and we're really focusing on the importance of hygiene and hand washing, that having that good clean water at home is really, really important. So hats off to the
Absolutely.
Public Works Department and the water and sewer projects that they are really, really working hard on in more of our isolated rural areas.
Absolutely. Well, it's great. I know firsthand working with some of my next gen scholars at Fort Hill and dealing with the issues. They live in those outer lane areas that you referred to, and they do not have access to Wi-Fi. So I know you've been working with the Allegany County Public Schools and education partners to be able to address these needs. It's really important, and you're right. It has this situation has really increased the light on this need for our community, particularly.
Right.
So,
And we had so many things planned. We had census events. We had huge community gatherings, like the home builders event that we usually have at the
right,
fairground. And we had trainings and conferences scheduled where we were going to have, a lot of essential training for essential workers that was going to take place. But
right,
COVID has put the brakes on those as well. So now we're trying to adapt and maybe do smaller trainings or
sure,
do do things further out, if we can get future funding, to maybe send, instead of 6 we send 2 or 3, but
sure.
we still need to keep the balls rolling, especially law enforcement. There was a huge conference that they were supposed to attend in May that COVID
Mhm.
ended postponing. So now we're hopeful that we'll get the future grant funding we've applied for to allow them to go in September.
Awesome. Well, I know you work extremely hard in your job to help with all of these community services and projects by with your grant writing and providing those necessary funds to do these projects and events. And we're so thankful for your work. And I wanted to move to the future of workforce development. Not only do you have to deal with the here and now, such as COVID, but you also have to look down the road and kind of project what it is that our students are and families are going to see in the future workforce stage. And one of our articles featured on our website at www.mbrt.org is an article that states research that the majority of jobs in 2030, just 10 years from now, are not even created yet. That's a staggering thought, but you guys are working to be prepared for that. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
We are, and our commissioners have been very proactive, and they have been very open to speculating and looking at what's out there. Allegany County is located in a very unique area
Mm-hmm.
where we are so close to our neighbors in Pennsylvania and so close to West Virginia that we can take a more regional approach to workforce development. And the biggest investment that has ever been made in workforce development in Allegany County was the purchase of 37 Lane Avenue, which will be home to Western Maryland Works. And that is our community makerspace, but it's also a workforce development site for job training and skills attainment. After the Verso closure, there were a lot of employees that really didn't know what they were going to do. So
Mhm.
luckily, we've worked with Allegany College of Maryland, and they have relocated their entire advanced industrial manufacturing program to 37 Lane Avenue, which has
Cool.
doubled their capacity for folks that they're able to help get into these job training and certification programs. So with that, we were able to get in, I believe it's close to 60 displaced workers.
Wow.
Those folks are just, right now, they're online learning. But once the COVID restrictions are lifted, they'll go back to 37 Lane and be able to utilize that space. But what's unique about Western Maryland Works is that it's a transformative space. It can constantly evolve. So, whatever the next business in the community needs for skills training, we can have it happen there. There are advanced technologies, there are computers, there's laptops, there's going to be 3D printers, laser engravers, there's collaboration spaces, and there's also 4 incubator spaces. So,
Mm.
a budding entrepreneur that has an idea of a business that they want to start, they could come and rent one of our spaces, which are very large, fully furnished,
Wow.
with all utilities included. And they
Hmm.
could rent one of those spaces, and then they would work closely with Matt Shipway, the workforce development specialist, as well as the small business folks out of Frostburg State to develop a solid business plan. So by the time they leave after 12 to 18 months of being at Western Maryland Works, they could go out on their own and start their own business. And that's part of the beauty of this site is it's 32,000 square feet of transformative space. If there's a new technology that comes about, then we can incorporate that. And if a business, whatever training they need or want, we can incorporate it there.
That's wonderful. I know, to have that connection with your higher education partners in Allegheny College and Frostburg State University, um, to provide these maybe certificate-based and training courses for advanced manufacturing and other programs is wonderful for our students to know about and to learn about. In fact, we are going to feature a virtual tour on June 10th with the development specialist or workforce development specialist, Matt Shipway. He's going to be hosting a virtual tour for us on June 10th on our program. So I'm excited to hear about that.
And I think once people see what the space is about and what
Mhm.
it could be going forward, then I
Right.
think that excitement's going to grow in the community.
Absolutely. And these, maybe you could speak about some other opportunities that are looking good for our area in future workforce development opportunities.
For students, last
Mhm.
year was the first year we did the Maryland Youth Apprenticeship Program,
Oh,
with
great.
seniors primarily, but it can become juniors,
Mhm.
can apply for a youth apprenticeship position, which is a paid internship
Right.
where they can be getting paid, get their foot in the door, and actually be working in the job field, building that skill set that they need. And they also get high school credit. So it's a win win. So employers can kind of mold the future employees that they'll have, but also students can really engage and see if what they thought the job was like is actually what they want to pursue as far as their higher education or their workforce skills training. So that is a very exciting program. I know here at the county, we've had Kendall, and she has been just a breath of fresh air. She has
Great.
energy and she's so eager to learn as much as she can. And I think every employer that has had a youth apprentice has been very pleased, not only with the caliber of students that ACPS produces, but the maturity and the willingness for those students to really become engaged. Uh,
Awesome.
Another very exciting project that goes along with the regional approach is the Advanced Technology Center. And that is a huge collaboration that not only incorporates us locally, but also the governor's office, the Office of Special Programs. It incorporates all of our economic development entities in Bedford County, Somerset County in Pennsylvania, Mineral County in West Virginia, and then Allegany and Garrett County. Now, this is a very forward-thinking approach. We have just applied for what's called Power Grant funding through the Appalachian Regional Commission. And what we are trying to do with that is to develop an advanced technology center that would focus on transportation, but also technology. Because as we move forward, we're going to a more autonomous type vehicle technology. Our cars are able to park themselves. Our cars are able to stay within the lanes. So all of those and the advanced technology that's incorporated, there has to be a workforce that is skilled to work on these things, to build these things, and to change as technology improves, which goes into what we said earlier about a lot of these jobs don't exist yet. So a very forward-thinking approach is if we can develop an advanced technology center in Allegany County, in the Frostburg area, we can then bring in some major partners that are already working in other parts of the state to actually come in and test and build and prototype and come up with the design plans. And the University of Maryland, or the Maryland Transportation Network, they have what's called a CAT lab, where they monitor all the camera systems and the traffic flows and the traffic patterns and stuff like that. They want to come to Allegany County. The governor wants to have something in Allegany County that can build upon having good, high-paying jobs. And that ties directly into what we're already doing at ACPS. It ties into our robotics programs that we're doing at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. It ties into the P-TECH program and what we're doing with cybersecurity, for those students. And I really emphasize this when I talk to students, is that you can get your associate's degree in cybersecurity while you're still in high school for free. Your parents will love you. whoever the adult in your life is would just give you a big hug if they know that you can get your education for free. So there's so many opportunities that students can take care of. And the ATC is going to be able to bring new businesses into the area, create jobs, and create a pipeline of talent for folks that can go through and maybe get some training at Allegany College at the advanced technology through this IT Center of Excellence, or maybe they could go into a more formal instructional program with the cybersecurity at Allegany College, or even to Frostburg State for courses and curriculum that doesn't exist yet. Because we're going to build it based on what these industry professionals say are the skills they need. So that's kind of what we have on the burners right now.
That's great.
It goes back to the partnerships, and partnerships are what makes everything happen. And in our community, we have to have strong partnerships.
Absolutely.
And we have great relationships with all levels of education, from early childhood all the way through to post-secondary. And those really make things a lot easier when we're trying to come up with innovative programs, trying to come up with funding streams, and trying to really build up this community. Because there's been a misconception. A lot of people think I have to leave to be successful.
Right.
And that is not true. Yes, there have been businesses that have left, Verso closed, people still go back to the Kelly closing in the 80s. But there have been a lot of businesses that have come in since then that people aren't really thinking about. But, businesses that are coming in that have good, high-paying jobs that replaced all of those things that have left. So Allegany County, you really can live here, you can get your education here, and you can work here. And there's so many fun projects too that we're working on in the community. And one that is super exciting, it's going to be called the Willowbrook Outdoor Wellness Spot. And it is another collaborative effort
Mhm.
that the county got into with Allegheny College of Maryland. And
Okay.
we're going to transform some vacant land that extends up behind Allegany College towards the wood line all the way to Edith's Creek.
Wow.
So we're in the design phase right now. And once COVID restrictions are lifted, we're going to have our first reveal, which is going to be super exciting. It's
Ooh,
a national fitness court that we have won a grant on, and we got funding from First People's Credit Union. And it is a super exciting outdoor workout, physical activity space that it doesn't
nice.
matter if you're 5 years old, you're 50 years old, or you're 80 years old. There's something that everybody can do. And that also incorporates technology. And people don't think about that, but there's an app for everything now. And
That's right.
the Willowbrook Outdoor Wellness Spot is going to be a game changer. And
Great.
the proximity for the college, the proximity to the hospital, and just having another outdoor area that can incorporate things like nature trails and outdoor classrooms, access to the water, just being outdoors and having nature. And that's something that we have here that I think far too many take for granted. People
Absolutely.
come from all over the country
Hmm.
at Allegany County because we have something other places don't have. And we have trees and grass and clean air and mountains and trails and streams. And, I think our commissioner has once said, we're a community that has more cows than people. And there are a lot of people that just appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yes. And, you've mentioned so many wonderful new projects that would not have happened without the collaboration of many partners. And this is one thing we wanted to focus on for this session is for the for us to get to the future of workforce, we need to collaborate and work together. Like you mentioned, with Allegany College, Frostburg State, and business partners across the community to help fund these projects. And also, you have to work with them, like you mentioned about robotics. I'm on the team for the React team, which is the robotics team for Allegany County. And many of my students have participated in events and been on teams for React. And you mentioned P-Tech. Many of my students also participate in that program. These are wonderful opportunities that without the collaboration from the Allegany County government and all the community businesses and organizations to come together to offer these wonderful opportunities to help our students know that they can learn and grow and make a great future living and work right here in Allegany County. And so I'm so excited about that, and can't wait to see what the future looks like for our students and all these wonderful opportunities in Allegany County. We have a question here that says, Nona Carroll wants to know, how do you gauge the skill gaps and the needs of your businesses?
The businesses,
Mm-hmm.
usually the Chamber of Commerce is
Mm-hmm.
the forefront of gauging what community needs are.
Great.
And we have an open door policy. I mean, this is a new department. We were just created
Oh,
last
great.
year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something new. So once Matt Shipway and I came on board,
Mm-hmm.
then that's when we started hitting the ground running. We went to chamber meetings. We go to chamber after hours events. We go to business roundtable discussions and
Mm-hmm.
let them know that we are here to help everybody in the community. And it doesn't matter if you're a nonprofit, if you're a private business, if you're a whatever entity, we're here to help the community grow. And we will do whatever we can to help foster that. And businesses have reached out to Matt and said that we think that we need whatever. And we try to provide that service if we can, or at least connect them to the right people that can help guide them. I know right now the county commissioners have thankfully freed up some more money to help our local businesses that are suffering because of COVID-19.
Sure.
So the grant programs and the loan programs that they're doing, as well as I think the city of Cumberland just opened up a loan program this week. So everybody's trying to rise to the occasion. And that goes back to having that ability to go through and transform what you're doing. This was not anything any of us planned on, but we have to adapt what we're doing in the day to day and
Right.
rise to the challenge and meet the needs of what's happening in our community.
Well, this has been awesome. I really am super excited at the collaboration. I know myself working for Maryland Business Roundtable for Education, working with you and as an Alleghany County Government partner, and Matt as well. I've worked with him actually through the Transitions Council and being able to provide opportunities for our students to make that transition into whatever career or education looks like beyond high school, and helping meet those needs for all students to help them lift them for their successful future. So I just want to thank you on behalf of MBRT for joining us today and sharing all this wonderful information, and for being one of our wonderful volunteers, making an impact on literally thousands of students in Allegany County. I'm sure they'll recognize you as soon as they see you. And I just want to also remind folks that we're going to be featuring a virtual tour of Western Maryland Works on June 10th on our Way to Be series. And I'd also like to remind everyone, speaking of apps, you mentioned there's an app for everything. Well, we created our own app called Way to Be. And I want to encourage students and families to download this app. It's free on Apple and Android devices, and it will be a great help to help you plan for your future, to research colleges, careers. Plus, we've added some really fun games and activities. So I hope you'll enjoy that and download it. Also, I'd like to remind everyone to join us tomorrow on our Way to Be at Home at 10 o'clock. There's going to be a new time for tomorrow's series. Just for tomorrow, we're going to go at 10 because we have a special guest from Johns Hopkins, and Annalisa Sawyers, our fellow MBRT, is going to be interviewing her about diversity in healthcare. So I hope you'll join us tomorrow at 10. And thank you again for joining us today. Thank you, Tanya, for your wonderful support of Maryland Business Roundtable.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.